Welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. I'm here with Loulwa Khoury to talk about her film, We Never Left. Let's take a look at a clip.
في مسؤولية كتير كبيرة علينا نحن كجيل جديد. في أكثر من 10 مليون منا برا.
Loulwa, welcome. Thank you so much for coming to talk about your moving and just evocative and enriching film. I learned so many things that I didn't know about Lebanese history, about history in the Middle East period. So tell me when you got the inspirations to tell this film and the journey of the people around. When did you meet them? Were they friends always?
First of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. So I met them when the Lebanese Revolution started. That was October 17, 2019. We basically were all like enraged with everything happening in Lebanon. And a friend of mine texted me saying, we're going to go to the consulate and have like a little vigil. And didn't think about it twice. I knew it was important, and I went there, and this is where I met them. And we became friends over time. Took a while, for them to trust me with the story we're trying to tell. And I didn't even know I was going to make a film for a month or two, because I was just kind of going to protest, following the action, and just documenting for myself, for history. And then I really, with time, realized it was an important story to tell, mostly because there's more Lebanese living abroad than within the country. So the diaspora definitely has its own story to tell. And we all left for different reasons and through different times, whether it was in the 50s, during Ottoman time, during the French Mandate, during the Civil War, it just goes on. And so we all ended up abroad, and with all the corruption happening in Lebanon, the revolution was definitely something different for us. There were different movements before, there were different protests, but this really felt really felt different.
Right.
Like something special was ignited.
Yeah, I could see that. There was such a kindredness between you, especially when you're outside the consulate in New York. So that was the first thing you shot of the film, was when you were at the consulate?
Yeah.
So you kind of told the story backwards then, in terms of, what you captured, and then going back and looking at the histories. How much time did you spend, with the three people that were the centerpiece of the film? How much time did you spend with them? I
would say about 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's over 3 years.
Not the whole 3 years.
Right, sure, not together, but yeah.
Yeah. Over 3 years,
right.
Between 2019 and then we met on and off in 2020, obviously, because it was during the pandemic,
right.
But especially after the Beirut explosion, nothing was more important than community at the time.
Right.
It wasn't the same to be even with your friends who weren't Lebanese or Arab, to understand what was happening.
Right.
So just being with the Lebanese community was very important to be able to grieve together and process together.
Absolutely, and that's the thing I really appreciated about the film. I mean, we could be here, like you said, there's so much history and so many layers of different empires and evolution of Lebanon. So in the course of your story, can you talk the audience about, because again, I learned things about Lebanese history I didn't know, but can you share just a little brief moments of the explosion, for example, and how that influenced this community your community to be able to tell this story?
The film kind of started with the Lebanese Revolution, so it was more focused on activism in the beginning of the film. Then the pandemic happened, which kind of slowed things down, but also allowed space for personal reflections and kind of the personal stories in the film, which for me is what makes this special. And then the Beirut explosion happened. So really between 2019, 2020, and beyond now, like with everything happening in Lebanon, we really have not caught a break at all. Like what started as a film about activism became more about like what it is also to just be an immigrant in New York and the States. And I really felt like after showing the film to different people, I really felt like it was more like of an international story. It is about community a lot, but it's about the diaspora and a lot of people who were not from Lebanon, not even Arab, really related to it too, because we're all like going through different struggles in the world, very different from each other, but also there's a lot of like commonality together.
Absolutely, and like I said, I was very impressed with the kindredness, you know, and the vulnerability. I mean, you really, you know, the word diaspora is used several times in the film, but as I was watching, I remember distinctly hearing the word, but to me it felt like more. You know, I mean, it was a geography of people that are not living and you're living in other places of the world, but it felt this kindredness, you know, that was not just geographical. It was like you said, to be able to grieve together, to join together, to be activists together and feel, like you could really feel, but underneath too was that sense of pride.
Yeah.
You know.
And attachment to the homeland.
Attachment to the homeland, the culture was so rich and so organic, so rich. One question I had for you, I didn't write it down, but I thought about it, was a choice to use the language, your native language, because everybody was in New York. Talk about your choice to use your native language in the film rather than English.
Well, it came naturally. I wanted them to speak whatever they were most comfortable with. And also because we were having a lot of kind of intimate conversation, I did not want this to feel like an actual interview. Like I just kind of wanted, you know, I was asking them questions, but I wanted it to feel more relaxed, more just them telling me about their day or, you know, what their thoughts were about different things.
Right.
And Arabic felt like the more natural language to use. But in Lebanon, we also switch languages a lot. So like one sentence could have Arabic, French, and English.
Wow.
So, which was also the choice of subtitles to also switch between both. First of all, for more people to understand if they feel, let's say, more comfortable with Arabic and don't understand as well English. But also to kind of portray that kind of split personality, if you want, of languages that we use in Lebanon.
Right, because the use of your native Arabic language, it gave it a real intimacy, I felt, you know, and you achieved that by allowing them to, you know, everyone to speak their native language. And I just felt that, again, like I'm in your world. You know, they're not changing for this world. We're being asked to come into your world and experience your culture, which I thought was really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. So you said the film was over a 3-year period. So talk about the editing process.
Oof. The editing took a while because it was a lot of breaks in between like doing other things, but also for budgetary reasons. I was editing it with a co-editor in Lebanon, and I really wanted to do this with her because I did not want to portray the revolution in Lebanon as something it was not, because unfortunately every time I tried to go there, I was not able to for different reasons, which also kind of made me feel like a tourist, like in my own country when I went to visit and the revolution was kind of over. But it was important for me to portray like authentically like the duality between like abroad and within the country. So, and she lived the revolution there, so
Right,
I
right.
wanted to get things right.
Right.
And it took about 2 years, not like
Right.
continuously.
Altogether, right.
But there was a period where I was working on other things and editing. And then I would say the last year or so, I kind of focused on fully editing the film. Yeah. And it also took time because I was procrastinating a lot to not edit the end of the film. Because it's such a personal story that
Right.
it was also really hard for me to like process and grieve and work on this.
Right, yeah.
So I had to take a lot of breaks to like allow myself to like have some space.
Right.
Yeah.
Very understandable. I mean, so how did this change you as a person, this whole process? Because you're living it as you're shooting and along with your subjects. You're right there, boots on the ground with everyone. So talk about your journey as a filmmaker.
It was very intense. I would say I'm an editor first, filmmaker second. So I've been editing films for the past couple of years at least, and this was just a very important story for me to tell. And I knew that I was one of the right people to tell that story. I'm not going to say I'm the person, but like I'm one of the people who could tell the story, right? So, so it was a very different process from just sitting behind the computer editing. But it was also very enlightening, and I just kind of, when things started to happen, I just grabbed my camera and started filming. So it's kind of all kind of DIY, like guerrilla style. But it also worked with the intimate story and kind of
Definitely.
having this like kind of essay, almost like a diary feeling to it.
Definitely does.
Yeah.
Like I said, I knew nothing about it, and I just felt these people, telling their story, like I said, with the language and even being in New York, the garden. They started a garden outside their apartment building in Brooklyn, and so really something, really, really special film.
Yeah, and it's really amazing what you learn like with your first film, like all the good and bad, like how much you need to work to make things happen. But it was definitely a unique experience because it was hard also to get people to understand the importance of the story when just a lot is happening in the world, and this is maybe like just one period of time in Lebanon, kind of like a capsule. But I think a lot has happened that even like I showed it in Lebanon, and so much has happened that people kind of moved on, and then they kind of needed time to think like, oh, we went through all of this.
Right, to process themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk to us about
Thank
your
you so
film.
much.
It's a really, really great film, and like I said, I was very moved and very enriched by it. And tell us where we can follow you and learn more about you and the film, what's going for the future.
It's available on all social media. We Never Left Doc on Instagram, and we have also the same website, We Never Left Doc.
Okay.
We always welcome people, like if they want to see it, to request screenings. We're open to community screenings because we also find this is like the best way for people to see it through communities.
Great.
And it's also now distributed on Watermelon Pictures.
Watermelon Pictures?
Yes.
Okay, great. Watermelon Pictures.
So it's available on different platforms and on their streaming platform as well.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.